Smash.
Thank you for that, Turbotaxer. Welcome, everyone, for the latest episode of Supercast for this, the podcast where I have completely lost control of everything. But did I ever really have control? I thought I did. I really did.
Over the publication of the show, at least.
I
just pull the plug, theoretically.
I think I had control up until Jonno did the very first intro in the first episode, and it's all been downhill from there. But welcome to a Smasher Dash. We got Jonno, we got me, Zantok, we got Turbotaxer making his 6th appearance on the show.
Oh, yeah.
You're one of our more consistent guests. I feel like I brought this up to you before, but it still remains true.
Has it been 6? Really?
Yes, because
Yeah.
I count every guest appearance we have and what type of episode they've been on. And you've been on 2 on topics, 3 Smashtopias. Really, 3? Who was the 3rd? Oh, right, Chrono. I forgot about Chrono. Because he broke the pig theming that we were going with for a bit. And then this is your first Smasher Dash.
Oh, yeah.
We've had 4 guests that have made. Actually, you're currently the first guest to hit 6 appearances. So
Wow.
congratulations on that. But you were
was at 5, right?
What?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, we got 3 people at 5 right now.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, Flamezone, Ebit, and Kelly Jelly are all at 5 appearances. And Trevor, you are the 3rd person to be able to be on all 3 types of episodes.
Join in the club for the triple threat.
Maybe
Threat.
we'll have a 4th person later this season.
Could be.
Ooh.
Could be.
And
That's
if
the
you paid-
Wario
And
symbol
if
as
you
well.
paid attention to our previous episodes and what guests have been on for them, you would know who the 4th person to get all 3 would be, because it's not that hard to figure out.
Jamie.
Close, but no.
Has only been on 1 episode, so no, it's not gonna. I mean, it could be Jamie. I can't spoil it. I mean, maybe Jamie will be making 2 appearances. I don't know. Been a while since we've had Jamie on.
Could be. Could be.
Could be.
Could be.
Could be.
Good guy.
Could be,
Mom
or
Luigi and
to
all.
be. Fuck.
Could be.
I was gonna go somewhere with that, and I didn't. I couldn't. I started before I could figure out where I was gonna go with it. So now it's just gonna be a failure of a Nier Automata joke.
I was gonna say, it sounds a little like Nier, a little like Shakespeare. You get the best of both worlds.
That's what I was trying for, and then it just kind of. I killed it halfway through.
Happens.
Yeah, we should not dwell on that. What's up?
Yeah.
The ceiling.
I hope so.
By the pricking
It'd
of
be
my
really
thumb,
bad if it wasn't.
something wicked comes.
Because then there'd be a hole in my floor in my kitchen, and I don't want that.
That would be unfortunate.
Yeah, the kitchen is above me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like the ghost of Christmas past.
That and those vet bills
What?
that you had to pay for your brother.
No, the vet bills I had to pay for my dog.
Oh, that's even
You
worse.
you pay $500 to be told, yeah, we can't figure out anything that's wrong. It's like, well, he wasn't acting right, so there was clearly something wrong when you could just touch a dog's side and they yelp in pain. There's something wrong. It's like, we don't know. It's like, cool, great, thanks for taking my money.
Yeah. Thanks
Sir,
for
you're
using the
welcome.
tools that you already had in your office. Yeah, I feel you.
Was not
I feel
fun. Was not fun.
Does not sound fun.
You know what is fun though?
Video game.
Like in
Yes. Trevor, what is the most recent video game that you have played recently?
That would be Valheim. Recent.
And
So
how long ago was that?
Shoot, that's got to be a couple days ago.
Oh, okay.
Or no.
Okay.
A couple weeks ago.
Oh,
like 2
okay.
weeks ago.
Okay. If I ever go 2 weeks without having played a game, I better be on some goddamn like fucking Survivor shit or something. Because what the hell? Well,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel it too. I feel it too.
yeah. Jonno and I, we're both playing Fire Emblem Engage right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like some aspects of it, but it's very... There have been some great chapters. There have been some amazing chapters with the story. But for overall, it's just kind of just like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah. It is better than you would expect from that aspect, considering that
Better
a lot
than
of people thought it would be...
Fates.
Mhm. Yeah, people thought it would be Animu trash, which, in other words, is Fates.
I think Three Houses is better. It just...
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not on every level. But in general, I think Three Houses is better. For one thing, the characters are just way better.
Yeah. That's the number
And
one.
they feel like
critique,
that
I
they
think, in this
matter
game.
more. In this game, it's more like, back to general Fire Emblem Fair, you get all these extra characters in your maps, and you can recruit them to fight for you, but only like 6 characters ever appear in cutscenes. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm. 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 More like Awakening than Three Houses. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of so it's very good if you like the gameplay of Fire Emblem. There are several aspects in which this is a step above Three Houses.
Yeah.
But Three Houses felt like a world that was lived in and developed. And the characters were 3-dimensional people.
That said, they do improve over the biggest complaint about Three Houses, and that's white clouds.
Mm-hmm. And making the initial 10 chapter-ish, I think, right? Like the first 10 chapters of the story be something you have to repeat again and again and again.
Yeah.
in every campaign.
And the replacement for Garrick Monastery, there's less to do, really, but it doesn't really necessarily feel like you're doing less, necessarily. It's also completely optional. Like, you don't have to do anything there if you don't want to. But it's great for building supports.
Which I think it's a better overall platform than the Monastery, even though the Monastery felt lived in. I mean, after a while, it got a little... That said, like,
the Monastery being...
compare it to...
The monastery being, okay, every weekend you go do things in the monastery, or you can go do some fighting, then there's a chapter fight at the end of the month. Versus this, where it's like, okay, you can go back to the Somniel after every fight, including just after a random skirmish, if you want to. But things, you have to go through that in order for the Somniel to refresh its activities.
Okay.
Pluses and minuses to both of those systems.
Well, I will say fishing was fine in Three Houses, and fishing sucks in Engage.
I did it once. And that's it.
What did they do? Because, like, fishing...
It's actually a minigame now.
Oh, instead of
like
your aim press perfect?
Yeah, now you have to move your control stick in the opposite direction of where the fish is trying to pull away from you. Tap the button whenever they're within a certain radius. It's where the fish's durability, which is weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sonic Frontiers fishing is where it's at.
I feel like so many games try to make fishing be a thing, but more often than not, they do a bad job.
Yeah, I just want a Big the Cat simulator one of these days. I want to be in his shoes and understand what his life is like in fish.
Why don't they make a Big the Cat DLC for Sonic Frontiers?
Why don't they make a Big the Cat costume? Like with a little bit of extra cotton in there so you can really feel like you're moving within his meat.
I'm pretty sure somebody out there can make that for you.
All right.
You want
Jonno, there's a line.
And I want...
Being inside of Big the Cat's
frog.
meat is past the line. All right? I'm just going to let you know, we are not taunting Big the Cat.
Having his meat inside you, on the other hand, is perfectly fine.
No! That's worse! That's worse! On any level that would be a possible conversation, that's worse! Good, this is why we don't have viewers and why we can't get marketing deals. Jonno is the reason why we fail. Oh my god. We're moving on to our next segment.
If we went back to audio only, maybe we'd have a better chance.
No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't. That's not, no. Because there is an audio option. And if people don't want to see us, they have that option. Just check us out on iTunes or Spotify or wherever the fuck else it's uploaded. I don't know. Jonno's in charge of that. I only do the YouTube uploads.
Wherever podcasts are found.
Basically, because I throw it on an RSS aggregate.
What about my
Spotify,
Zoom?
Apple, and everything.
Mm.
If you really wanted it on there, at least Star-Lord is listening to it.
Yay! Mario is listening to the podcast.
Mario and Garfield. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, time to move on. So, like we do with Rate the Chance, now starting with Season 3, I said Rate the Chance. Like we do starting with Smash Your Dashes starting with Season 3, it's Rate Their Chance this time. We got 5 characters that we have picked out. And Turbo here does not know who they are. So I always like, surprising our guests with who our Rate Their Chances people are. And we're going to start out with a very familiar face. One that you know very well, I hope. If you don't know who this character is, then I think you've had something go wrong in your brain hole. Because this first character is Porky Minch.
No, I don't know.
But if we
Nope.
but we did an episode about him and you were there.
Sorry, Holden Brain. Cannot.
All right.
Yeah,
we need to get our backup
definitely know
guest.
Porky.
Can we get Courtney on the line?
Yeah. Yes, bring the
She's
wife.
doing Stardew Valley. She's busy.
All right, we're
Oh,
gonna talk
my-
about Stardew Valley and Smash Brothers now.
Oh no.
Yeah. That pickle nickel thing, the little berry guy.
I tried playing Stardew and I got very frustrated, like pretty much right away. I'm like, no, I don't want to play this. Not for me.
I just checked the aggregate for our RSS, and this is not like crazy numbers, but I do want to say our audio is fairly popular. It is trudging along, and I've never looked at these numbers before. But
Okay, but are those numbers just clicks, or is this like listening time? Like, are they clicking and then closing?
These are not only listens, but they also include people who've downloaded the episode to listen to later.
Cool.
Like on Spotify or Apple Music, where that's option.
Okay,
So
if you're listening to this podcast on one of these things, first of all, thank you, like legit, because I only know the YouTube numbers, and the YouTube numbers are, I mean, we don't expect them to be very good, but I would just love. If you want to say any kind of comment, I have no idea if Spotify or iTunes has any kind of comment system because I don't use those services.
They don't.
Okay, please go look at the YouTube channel. Just like leave us a comment because I would just love to know what people think. Honestly, like you don't gotta say much. I'm just like, if you like it, if there's anything you'd like us to talk about more or less, or if you want me to try and contain Jonno more or let him go even wilder, please don't do that part. I'm begging you for my own sanity and for this podcast not to be over 3 hours every time, please. Or just like if there's any characters or games you want to see covered, like we would love to know what people would actually like to see us talk about. And
just having a couple of fans, like literally one or two, knowing harvesting a community, be nice.
Be nice. Do we have an email address? We have a Facebook page you can comment on too. There's a Facebook page. And then you post on like your Instagram sometimes. I don't know if you've done that in a long time, actually.
It's been a couple months.
Yeah.
I do want to share very quickly our top performing episode of the season so far was King Boo.
It's a good one.
We spiked in October when the season came back with 196 plays.
Oh boy.
Is that more views than all of YouTube? I gotta check the YouTube numbers now. Sorry, Porky. We'll get to you in a minute. But I need to check our YouTube numbers now, because holy balls.
Our overall, since the beginning of this podcast, first of all, we've had 93 listeners in the past 30 days.
Whoa.
I don't know if they've heard the entire podcast.
You know how many
views
views
at least a certain number.
Oh.
Yeah.
In the past 28 days on YouTube, we've had 8 views and 0.1 hours of watch time.
3,500, so 3,511 all-time listens. So listening past a certain amount of time to be able to track on this aggregate since season 1 on RSS.
Our best video of the season on YouTube was Smash Brothers on NES? Question mark, with 23 views. Probably because people thought we had like information on like plans for one on NES, and they clicked that when they realized, oh, that's not what this is.
Those people were not the most intensely.
Yes. Were you going somewhere with that?
Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
There we
that was
go.
that was very
Oh
nice.
my god, you'll never guess what our most viewed video is on YouTube.
Midna.
Smashtopia, Porky Minch, featuring Trevor. With 44 views.
Honorable, yes.
And 1 like. And 1 comment. Who the hell commented?
I got ratioed. Oh. Or we got ratioed, I guess.
I don't know what that means.
That means that there's a lot more watches than likes. So,
Isn't that normal?
yeah. Well,
Like, I feel like that
ratio
should
would
be normal,
more
because
more
if you-
comments than likes.
I mean, yeah. I don't know how YouTube... that stuff. I don't... Listen, we don't do this to be famous. We would love to be, but we don't do this to be that. We do this because we're losers, and we have no... we have nothing else to do with our time.
We're too centered and balanced and kind to be famous.
We are
Right. Let's talk about a character that's not centered or balanced or kind, and that's Porky Minch.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy,
Yeah.
getting there. So, Porky Minch, rate their chances. We do as we do, trying to figure out, like, what do we think his chances are to be played in the next Smash. Earthbound is kind of an odd series for talking about Smash because, 1, it's a dead series.
Yeah.
To the dismay of all of its fans, it's a dead series, and the guy behind it has no interest in making further. And on one level, that's very disappointing. On the other level, it's also kind of respectable because, you know what? Not every series needs to be milked for all it's worth for eternity. I got that. But can we at least get Earthbound, or can we at least get Mother 3? Please? Fucking please? Admittedly, I did not have the most fun time playing Earthbound just because, like, I played it years after it released, so I'm comparing it to more modern games, and it doesn't have a lot of the modern stuff I'm used to. But just for its fans, I want Mother 3 to get released outside of Japan. Like, you guys,
Definitely.
Trevor, you guys fucking deserve it. You deserve Mother 3. Honestly.
Trevor, with his pure heart, shall be the first in this world to lift the 7 needles.
I was trying to figure out how to do a 7 needles trick, but the only thing that came to mind was something dirty. I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
You already had that portion of the show.
Yeah, that was last episode. We talked about the 7
Yep.
needles, actually. We made 40 different items for Smash River. And Jonno here chose the 7 needles. And he also did the Horn of Life. Well, I did the Bag of Dragonite.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's fun.
From Pokemon.
Nice.
Yes. Anyhoodle. Porky Mitch.
Yeah.
Earthbound is odd because not only for those reasons, but also all the playable we already had the playable character from Earthbound, Ness, with the playable character from Mother 3, Lucas, and the two of them play very similarly. And you could go, it's like, hey, why not the playable character from the first game, Ninten? It's like, okay, but he would also play very similarly, most likely. You can make him different. I've already done it. I have a Smashtopia moveset for him on the Squeaky. But also, he looks nearly identical to Ness.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a problem.
Oh yeah.
But then it's like, okay, well, you could go with the party members. Like, there's Pooh, there's Jeff, there's Duster, there's Teddy, there's the masked, but then there's villains, the Masked Man and Porky. And honestly, when I'm kind of looking at all of these, I feel like Porky has the best chances of all the remaining Earthbound characters at this point. If Earthbound 3 came out outside release worldwide, then I might shift that. Actually, no, Porky is still the main guy in that game too, not Masked Man. Wow, no, yeah, that would raise Porky's chances even higher, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how high his chances strictly are, but I don't think they're strictly bad. I think they're better than most people would give credit for. It's just a question of, is Earthbound going to get their rep?
Right. Yeah, Porky is well respected, I think, in the not just the Earthbound community or Mother rather, but Smash as well. I mean, he had a prominent role in the Subspace Emissary and the Brawl Days. People know who he is, so there's that. And I'm blanking. I could have sworn he had a appearance after that too.
Well, see, that's the thing though. He doesn't, and that's why it's like in World of Light, there is no spirit of Porky. No spirit for Porky. And that set a lot of people off thinking, oh my god, is Porky going to be DLC because there's no spirit for him already? And like, the only other response to that was like, because there is a spirit for the absolutely safe capsule, which people took as like, oh, well, maybe Porky is inside the absolute safe capsule. But that's still weird that there wouldn't be a Porky Minch or even a Pokey Minch, as he was called in the original Earthbound. There's no spirit for his appearance from that either. It's like, that's very strange. Because there's other characters that have multiple spirits towards them. So to just have that it's weird.
Yeah. If I agree, though, if we were to get another character, it should be Porky. In the Will category, I could see them saying, "Oh, Nintendo is a Ness and Lucas echo," or Kumatora is here
or
because
Paula.
she is another, or Paula because they're very similarly, or Anna if you want to get really zesty. Yeah, because they're all the traditional PSI users. You have Ness and Lucas. They're like, oh yeah, Ness learned his shit from Paula, and Lucas learned his shit from Kumatora.
It's literally a sacralized justification for why they can use those moves. It's like, they were taught them.
So you could also go those routes of just other PSI users rather easily. But if you want to go for the zest, and Porky has this on the side too, he is the most important character from Mother who was not in the game yet, besides maybe Nintendo since you play as him.
Besides maybe Gaigu.
That's true. Would be a little bit more difficult to comprehend, though, I think.
I mean, you literally can't.
Yeah.
You literally can't comprehend his attacks.
That's
why it's the perfect final smash. It just fades to black, and you just hear like a bunch of sound effects, and that text just appears on screen, and then it fades back to the battles, and the character's gone.
Yeah. What a tragic character, God.
Honestly.
The writing in Mother is top notch. I've seen some people, this total sidebar, say, "Oh, Gygus could be a Mewtwo clone." I was like, okay.
I mean, sure,
because of the look, I guess. But if that would be underwhelming. I mean, it's Gygus. You put him in, and But anywho,
one day.
I think Porky's chances are fairly okay. I'm kind of flip-flopping on where I'd place him right now, but I think I have a percentage in mind. Before we get there, though, Trevor, your thoughts on Porky?
Yeah, so actually, from what I was thinking, you guys have a lot more faith that Porky would become his own character than I would. I might only see that because they have a model that they could use or retool from Smash Brothers Brawl from the boss, and seeing as how they can make larger characters like Ridley work, that they could make Porky in the Spider-Mech suit work as well. But really, I kind of seems like Nintendo is done repping Earthbound and the Earthbound series, so I just don't see a heavy push from them to really put Porky in anything at all other than what he's been in as a boss in Brawl. So
Fair.
Yeah.
I really don't see it. I personally.
It's fair. The main counter I would have to say to that is, generally speaking, Sakurai is who chooses the roster, not Nintendo. He picks the characters whenever he's making his initial game pitch, and it rarely changes past that. I mean, he might have like Pokemon placeholder, Fire Emblem placeholder, but generally, whoever he plans and chooses to pick in the game is who we get. It was really only the DLC for Ultimate where he just straight up told us like, yeah. So Nintendo told me who to choose for the DLC. So if you're mad about Byleth in a few months, it wasn't me. Part of me feels like Byleth is why Sakurai told us that. Conspiracy theory of me, but part of me feels that. Because even when he got to the Byleth reveal, he was just like, yeah, I asked Nintendo if they were sure, because we've already got a lot of Fire Emblem, and they were just like, yes. I was like, okay. But I mean, it is true that like Earthbound, it is a dead series. Again, like we haven't gotten a game for it since Mother 3 on the GBA. But Sakurai is weird sometimes. There's always that Sakurai wildcard factor. Pit technically was a bit of a wild card. Duck Hunt Dog, Wii Fit Trainer, Piranha Plant.
Yeah.
I could see him going because he does seems like he likes to include some kind of like an older game character every time. And sure, GBA isn't really old at this point, but it is still a dead series. And at a certain point, he's probably just like, well, the NES characters I want to include are there. And then that said, we do know there are some that he still keeps an eye on, but that doesn't mean he could say like, okay, Porky could be his compromise for an older game character, or just other characters that were only on, like other Mario characters that haven't been seen in ages, like I don't know, fucking random Tatanga, something weird like that. So it's hard to say. Cool. It'd be out there as hell, out there as all hell. Nobody would see Tatanga coming.
No. Yeah, and I think that there's a precedent for there to be legacy characters included, where they're not necessarily as relevant as they used to be, but there's a respect in the community for them, like the rally for Dixie Kong, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
K. Rool. Yeah. Arguably, you could have made an argument for similarly
more so than Dixie, yeah. Considering he hasn't been in the game since Mario Super Sluggers.
Yeah, Mario Super Sluggers on the Wii was his last appearance, and before then, his last appearance was DK64. So
That's crazy. Yeah. Great. Yeah. We'll see. Well,
actually, he might have been on. I think he might have been on like King of Swing or something. Now that I think about it.
King of Swing, Bongo Blast, I think. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the character's chances are not incredibly high, but I think it might be a respectable number. So what are we thinking percentages?
I'm feeling, taking everything into account, like originally I was coming in feeling around in like the 30% range, but I'm coming down from that. I'm coming down. And I'm going to go ahead and slot in at about 21%, I feel like. I think that's the decent chance for him. Not too crazy.
I was thinking around the same. Like when we came into it, I was thinking like 25, but taking Trevor's argument into account, which is valid, I'll lower it a little bit. I'm going to say 19%.
Okay.
And for me, I was starting this all from my perspective with 15%, but taking into consideration everything that we've discussed here, I would bump it up to 20%. So I think we're all on the accord there.
We do. We average out evenly to 20%. Very nice.
Nice.
Love when it's a nice, simple number like that. All right. Well, started off pretty well. Let's see where this goes past that. Because honestly, when it comes to like something like Rate the Chances, 20% I feel like is a respectable number. When you're talking about the sheer vast amount of characters that could be added to a game like this, 20% is pretty fucking good, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But our next character is one that I actually almost spoiled when discussing my argument for Porky and old school retro characters, because I threw out the Tanga when I almost said Wart from Super Mario Brothers 2, or as the Japanese know it, Super Mario Brothers USA. I very almost said Wart. I was like, wait, no, hold on. We're discussing him too.
Nice.
So, Wart, his odds are not as good as Porky's, I think. Well, actually...
He is a Mario character, though.
He's a Mario character, and Sakurai did Piranha Plant. And if you're going to do Piranha Plant for Mario, that adds so many possibilities to the table.
I mean, one thing to consider, we just got that re-release of Link's Awakening, and Wart is a character inside of Link's Awakening. Yeah. So Wart is more relevant than Porky as of like recent releases.
I hate that that's true. I mean, the counter argument is that it's not technically Wart, but it's Wart. It's him. Mm-hmm. We all know it. It's also Link's Awakening is weird to me because it's had 2 remakes, and now they're releasing its first remake onto NSO. It's like, what? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Version.
This is so weird to me. But anywho, Wart, he's the main villain for Mario 2, although it's known as Doki Doki Panic. I think that's what it was called, right? Something like that.
Yep. Yeah.
Doki Doki something, not the other one. We don't talk about the other one.
Panic. It was
Literature Club?
That we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it, okay? No. We don't. But Wart's kind of a weird guy because he's like this king of Dreamland or something. Not Kirby's Dreamland. I realized after I said that. But it's a weird game because it's like takes place in dreams, and Wart is your villain for it. And when you fight Wart, he's spitting out bubbles, and he's allergic to vegetables. And it's like I don't know fully what you would do with him, but I do know that you can do something with him.
You definitely can. The framework is there. Again, it's a Mario character. If you had Piranha Plant, you can make something out of him. Why not Wart, who's at least more of an established actual character? Naturally, you can pull from his games and probably get a little weird with it too if you needed to. So, I think we have proven again and again with Ultimate out as well. Moveset viability is applicable with just about anyone.
Yeah, there are very few characters that if somebody told me to make moveset for, I would go like, I can't.
And in Wart's case, I mean, you already have a very easy standard special. It's obviously going to be blowing bubbles. And then you can involve the vegetable like machine nightmare crap from his.
I mean that'd be
in the Final Smash.
Yeah, true. That makes sense.
He
could like fly around on Pidgeot's carpet for an upper side special.
Definitely. That's a good idea. We should do a Wart episode one day.
I mean,
yeah, with Trevor. Break the pig cycle and go for a frog.
We already did. That was Chrono.
He knows a frog.
We move from pigs to frogs.
This is the natural progression of things.
This is evolution at its finest.
Trevor evolves from Bobboy Man to Froggy Man.
Froggy Man.
Yeah. Or
Caro Sewers Man.
Yeah. Oh, in Tagalog, Palaka Man.
Tadpole Pond.
Palaka, yeah. That has a ring to it. Anywho, Wart's opposition is not necessarily other retro characters or other characters in general, but it is other Mario characters. So, we can say Mario's Nintendo's flagship trademark franchise. Its likelihood of having a character in the next game is extremely high. But who would that character be?
The only time Mario has not had a new character in Smash was Brawl. The only time. Every other game has given us at least 2 new Mario characters. Minimum.
So, like in this next game, is it going to be Ward or is it going to be Waluigi? Knowing soccer, I'd probably do Ward.
It's going to be Captain Toad.
Wait,
Maybe.
did you say that Brawl didn't introduce a new Mario character?
Yes.
Wario.
Nope. Wario. It's his own brand of WarioWare.
Okay.
Yeah. Counting by the emblems.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. Otherwise, fair point. But
yeah. So yeah, it's Wart versus Waluigi, Gino, Paper Mario, Birdo, Tatanga, Stanley, the Bugman,
the Golden Diva,
Foreman Spike,
Captain Syrup,
Foreman Spike,
Cranky Kong.
Yeah, all of those guys wouldn't be within the emblem.
King Hippo.
Yep, Honey Queen.
Everyone's favorite Mario Kart rider.
Oh god, yeah, Honey Queen beat out Waluigi one time.
Bruce.
Watch it happen in Smash. Yeah, yes. So that's the argument I would come into when considering Wart's chances. I think the primary one is assume we're probably going to be generous. We're probably going to get at least one newcomer in Mario, and maybe a new Echo, or maybe two newcomers that are full moveset. So is Wart viable enough to be included as one of those couple newcomers?
I would probably, if granted, I'm not making a list right now, but I would probably say he's in my top 10 of potential Mario characters.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think like realistically, characters that were obviously above him, on most people's list at least, would be like Waluigi, Paper Mario, Toad, Captain Toad, King Boo, that crowd, Pauline maybe.
Egad. I will champion for Egad. I will champion for so many characters. I will champion. Put him in Mario Kart! You said Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is going to add more characters as DLC. Put in Egad! Please!
I wish.
That would be great.
For how well Luigi's Mansion sells, they do not have a lot of crossover with the series.
Good point.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
the Mario Kart games, generally
Mm-hmm.
speaking, don't pull from existing locations.
Mm-hmm.
There may be references, winks and nods, but for the most part, they don't. That said, we do have the Luigi's Mansion battle course.
Mm-hmm. And the Luigi's Mansion course.
Yeah.
And Yoshi's Island in the new DLC, which looks awesome. Yeah, I knew that'd be a very happy boy. Yes.
I like me some original Yoshi's Island.
Oh yeah, one of the best games ever. Trevor, can't you see that sometimes your words just hypnotize me? So, with that being said, what are your words on Wart?
Well, looking at Wart himself, there's not really much movement to pull from.
Yeah, he doesn't move a lot.
He
doesn't move a whole lot, yeah.
No. But looking at the whole land of Subcon, that land of dreams, and everything that comes from it, there's a whole lot of great things to pull out from there that I could definitely see Wart using in the Smash Bros. Arsenal. That seems like a really good opportunity to make a fun character. You got the Phantos, you got the jars that can like warp you from place to place. You've got the doors that lead you to an alternate reality. I mean, this is where Shy Guys came from. You can add Shy Guys into this. You got whales you can pull from. There's whales in Chapter 4. Not that I see that happening, but like there's so many wild dream things that can be pulled from Subcon for Wart's moveset that I just feel like there's so much more that could be viable to make a character from Wart than a lot of other choices.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not a choice that I think would be an obvious one for most people. But honestly, when you think about it, he's not a bad choice for Mario because he'd be a great way to also rep, like I mentioned with Porky, retro games.
I would love it. I mean, just Bowser's not the only bad guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Smash does have a. It lacks in villains and it lacks in female characters. The Ultimate helped with both of those aspects, but like at a certain point, you're out of heroes.
Oh yeah.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could help that by putting in some villains.
Totally. Totally. Percentages then. How are we feeling?
Percentages for Wart. I feel like it could be roughly in the same general area as Porky, just for different reasons. But I am going to go lower. I'm going to go with 16%.
That's fair. I'm feeling good after this conversation. I know it's just a shot in the dark, and there's a lot of Mario characters that are going to hold the same percentage stance as him, but I'm going to say 20.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to also say 16 on this. I feel it's very viable for this character. I just don't see it as likely as Porky.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he still ends up at 17.3%. So, roughly the same.
When I look at Wart, I have always thought of the number 17.3, so it makes sense.
Sure.
Totally. First thing that comes to mind.
All right.
Yeah.
So we talked about two characters that we're all kind of like, oof, we don't know for various reasons. Let's talk about something that is both easier and yet even more complicated. Miles, Tails, Prower. Here's the thing with Tails. Of any of the existing third-party franchises that have a character in Smash, Sonic, I think, is the most likely to get a non-Echo after Sephiroth, because I always forget that fucking happened, for a second fighter. I feel pretty strongly about it. Like I've said before that, like, I'd prefer to have more third parties represented than just like one franchise getting more characters. But if any of them does, it feels like Sonic is the next up. It feels like Sonic.
Yeah.
The only problem is which. Do you do Sonic? Do you do Knuckles? Do you do Shadow? Or do you do Dr. Eggman? It's one of those four. I don't see any other option being as likely as any of them. And it's hard to say which of them. Shadow would make a very easy echo. Technically, Shadow, Tails, or Knuckles could be echoes. All three of them could be, depending on what they want to do. Eggman is the only one that can't really be echoed. It's like you had Tails, who's the original number 2, and I personally, of those four, I think I've previously that Eggman is the best one to add on. I think I've said that at one point, but it's something that you can easily go back and forth on between the different options. But I feel like Tails might have the best chance if we're not looking at echoes. If it's echoes, it's gonna be Shadow probably. But I think Tails, just because he's the original number 2, and he has more different variety to pull from than what Knuckles has or what Shadow has with his various inventions.
And it looks like Jonathan's disappeared. But yeah, I would agree that Shadow seems maybe more viable as an echo than like Tails, but the first thing that popped in my mind immediately when you mentioned Tails was how he was represented in Sonic Adventure Battle 2 on the GameCube.
Do tell.
Where he has his mech robot suit with him, and he's present in all of the mech battle stages. I could maybe see that as something to set him apart from Sonic's movement and playset. There's an argument to be made that maybe you could throw E102 Gamma or something else in as a viable mech representative from Sonic, but I guess we're not talking about E102 Gamma. We're talking about Tails.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I figured if Eggman got in, he could be in a mech, potentially. Considering it's the majority of his appearances are him in some kind of mech.
Fair enough. Hello.
Welcome back.
I
I don't know how much of that you caught, but
enough. Like the last 3 words. We're good on the layout, though. Like, that didn't mess up anything behind the scenes too much.
you're fine now. But it was flipping around a bit when you were trying to get back in.
Great. Oh well. Another reason to watch our audio-visual capabilities on YouTube. You can watch the menagerie. We do it live. That's for sure. No, I mean, I have my own thoughts on Tails anyway. I think we're probably fairly well aligned in that he's a very likely character when you consider Sonic as a franchise, and I think considering Sonic in the grand scheme of the third-party series, it's the natural evolution from, after the crazy Sephiroth reveal, going into Sonic, because it's such a massively popular series.
Yeah.
You would suspect that Sonic, I don't know, or maybe like Mega Man would be the next. Probably Sonic though.
Mega Man's a hard just because of like the different Mega Men. Like if you go for the second Mega Man character, you're probably going with Zero, most likely.
Yeah,
because either that or a second character named Mega Man. And it's like, all right, that's gonna be confusing.
Yeah. So I think that Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Eggman, and E102 Gamma are amongst our top choices here. Of them all, only Eggman could actually be an echo of Sonic. However, I do find that Tails would be a viable semi-clone. No, I mean Tails. He's an inventor, so you could. I think I heard something about a mech. You could theoretically pull in like a Sonic Adventure 2 battle mech somewhere in there.
Could be a Final Smash.
Yeah, and his airplane. I mean, natural entrance animation, maybe Final Smash potential as well. Just hopping around in his little tail spin for his jump would feel good.
Yeah. The up has to be the tail spin.
Definitely. The Tails doll can be incorporated in some way. My OC, Mega Tails Dark Z can also be included as an alternate costume.
That does sound like a Sonic OC.
Yeah.
Why
Sonic
is Sonic,
really
of all franchises, have the most edgy OCs? Why? Of all franchises, why is it Sonic?
Shadow really opened the door for them, I guess.
It existed before Shadow!
Also
Shadow is the result of everybody's edgy OCs!
He's got guns!
Yeah, and he also fights an organization called Gun.
They really captured the spirit of America.
Hey, at least we'll finally get to see Shadow in the next Sonic movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was in the post. Well, he wasn't in the post-credit scene. No, I think they did show him. He just wasn't like awake or something. He was in a pod. Oh shit! They go in there already.
Yeah. Shadow would be, I think, the most natural Echo choice. I mean, he's a hedgehog.
Yeah.
And
it's the same character model, just slightly tweak it.
Toss some artillery on him. Give him the gun. Just kidding. Give him some sort of
and for a standard special, he uses a gun. Thank you, Joker.
Give him some sort of rocket. Give him chaos control, and you're good. But yeah, Tails I think has fairly strong chances. And yeah, he is fighting the other Sonic characters. I think if they were going to go for one of them, though, it's him or Eggman.
Tails or Eggman, you mean?
Yeah, Tails or Eggman, and unless they specifically wanted an Echo, in which case I think it's Shadow. Knuckles, I think, is just below the three of them because Eggman comes as the de facto villain, is so different from Sonic and has all this other stuff up his sleeve. Tails, though, I mean, he came in as Sonic's number 2, lulled for a bit when Shadow was first introduced, and is now coming back into the forefront as Sonic's primary secondary face.
Yeah.
So I think taking that into account, there's enough of an argument there that Tails is the Luigi to Sonic's Mario.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. I think that he's the most likely amongst the Sonic characters.
It's funny you were mentioning it. Like, if you think about it, Knuckles is kind of second best to all three of the other options. He's the second best in terms of like being his own like unique character alongside Tails. He's the second best in terms of like echo potential next to fucking Shadow, and he's the second best in terms of like villainousness because he wasn't starting good with that command. It's kind of an odd to think about that with Knuckles. Like, wow, you're second best 3 times over. How does that make you feel? I would feel like shit, personally.
It's foretelling. I mean, that's why Idris Elba himself fell out of the running for James Bond. Second best to somebody else. He was second best to Thanos in Infinity War.
What? No. Okay, moving on to percentages for Tails. Like it's like I've mentioned, it's a difficult one to judge Tails because third party franchise, and while that third party franchise could absolutely get another character, there are multiple options. Like I feel like there's a wide window here of numbers for Tails. Like I feel like it's anywhere from 60 to 80%. It's somewhere in that range. Where I don't know. Part of me just says split the difference, go with a nice safe 70%, and fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
Fair.
Cool.
I'm gonna say like 65. Same reasons. I just wonder on the if we're gonna get a second character for potentially any third-party series in the next Smash.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say 60 just because that everything brought up, I do think Shadow would be a more likely character to be brought in, especially with the hype behind Sonic, the movie 3.
That's fair. That is fair. Yeah. That's exactly why we're going to get Foreman Spike as well, since he's going to be in the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Absolutely.
True.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Good guy. He gave him a 1-star review on their website, too.
Oh, yeah.
Probably would.
Mm-hmm. No, he did. SuperMarioBrothersPlumbing.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the site. It's like, I'm going to go see the movie. I don't need to look at their website.
It's fairly entertaining.
Movies having their own websites, by the way, is such an outdated early 2000s thing. It's like, what is happening?
Yeah. That's exactly what they're doing. They made the site purposefully outdated just to show how bad the Mario Bros are at making their own website.
I mean, is it better than a GeoCities site though?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
They've overdone it.
Miyamoto's checking out the website right now. I think this is a little too high tech.
I mean,
he has
right.
Koizumi on the other line. Anyway, about the next Paper Mario. Okay.
Anyways, we've probably peaked in terms of rate their chance with talking about Tails. So let's start going back down that hill to a character with less chances, to somebody's chagrin, because we're going to be talking about Ranulf. A Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance, and Radiant Dawn. And probably everybody's just thinking like, ugh, Fire Emblem? We don't need another one. It's like, listen, I hear you. I do. We've talked about this, though. Here's the thing with Ranulf. He doesn't use a sword. He doesn't use a lance, or an axe, or a dagger, or a bow, or even a healing staff, or a tome. What does he do? Well, this bitch is a cat, so he got claws. He can turn from a human form to a cat form, and he's a cat. Don't you want to play as a cat?
We need
everybody
to the Sonic fans here. It's like, okay, let's get Tails and Ranulf in, double campaign it. They'll lead us to victory on this.
Yes. That said, I don't think his chances are good.
No.
Like he'd be the most unique Fire Emblem character we have so far. And I can't deny you, it would be nice to have like a character that actually transforms. I think that'd be really cool. But first of all, if we're gonna get another character from the Tellius games, it's probably Micaiah, or it's a Black Knight Echo of Ike. But if we're gonna get another Fire Emblem character, it's Alear.
Which, after playing Engage, wouldn't be the worst thing if they made them a summoning character. But it depends on the emblems.
They gotta
bring
be a
in.
summoning character. Don't just be Marth again, and don't just use Marth. We have Marth, and Girl Marth, and Red Marth, and Dad Marth already. We don't need more Marths.
No,
I don't know. That's only 5 Marths.
I said 4.
5 with
That's only 6 Marths.
Oh, you're right. Buff Marth. I forgot about Buff Marth.
Yeah, and
then there's
magic electrical sword. Yeah, Wizard.
Yeah, I was gonna say Wizard Marth, and then there's
Dragon Marth.
I was trying to figure out a dumb joke about how Korn doesn't wear shoes, but I just came to
Shoeless
Footloose
Marth.
and it's like, wait, no, that doesn't work.
Dragon, and there's Teacher Marth as well.
Yeah, this teacher Marth. Oh God.
No, but there are 4 legitimate
Marths,
builds
yeah.
of the same moveset, which is the issue.
And Alir could very easily fall into that same territory based on like just how his game works. It's not anything about like Smash doing a bad job of translating characters. It's just because like his game, much like Lucina, Alir is based a lot around Marth's character. It's a trap, honestly.
Although Engage also puts the spotlight back on lords from the other game, so you could theoretically use that as a bastion to say, "Oh, now everyone knows about Leaf."
Yeah.
Okay.
He could do Sigurd's charging attack for a side. He could do Celica's warp for an up.
In theory, it would be cool, but yeah, and again, just as a quick dresser on one of our most common topics, Fire Emblem is quickly becoming one of Nintendo's flagship franchises. Among the top selling, the most popular, Heroes is the only mobile game that they have that consistently does well and succeeds at what it does and isn't canned.
It and Mario Kart 2 are the only 2 still alive. Everything else has died. Well, if you count, actually, well, Pikmin Bloom is still up actually, and if you count Pokemon Go.
Yeah. But even then, I think Fire Emblem Heroes is legitimately statistically the best.
Yeah.
Best performing, that is. So there is room for Fire Emblem to have a comparable number of characters, in my opinion, to Mario and Pokemon.
And Zelda.
And Zelda. Well, Zelda, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah,
I mean, Zelda should have those numbers. We had a whole on-topic episode about that. You should listen to it.
Yeah.
With Jake and Kellen, no less.
Who?
The guy that loves Skyward Sword. Yeah, so the argument is more so Fire Emblem has so many different unique weapon types. Why don't you pull from it with your characters?
Yeah.
Ranulf would be a unique weapon type. He is a Laguz. It would be cool to have a transforming character from Fire Emblem. It's you have Manakets, you have Laguz, you have Pan from Fire Emblem Awakening. Different variations of this transforming trope over time. I'll give Ranulf this. He's probably the 3rd most likely after the Black Knight and Micaiah to be included, or maybe Soth as well. No, I would say he's 3rd.
I mean, if you want to make a group of possible characters from the Tellius games in an unranked list, Micaiah, Black Knight, Alencia, Ranulf, Soth, Tabarn.
Devton.
No.
Yeah, but I think, realistically speaking, the chances are almost none. There is not really room for it because Fire Emblem, unfortunately, exists on a promotional plane for Sakurai or Nintendo ever since Melee. I mean, Roy's game wasn't even out when he was included in Melee.
That said, I think it was supposed to be out, but it got delayed.
So
Same thing happened with the Woolly World stage. Yoshi's Woolly World wasn't out yet.
That's fair. I mean, at the very least, Roy, Corrin, and Byleth were all strictly promotional characters.
Absolutely.
So, chances are it's Alir, and if it's not Alir, it's another Lord. It's not
whoever is in the newest game by then. It could be a while for the next match. We don't know.
Yeah, it's not. I think best case scenario for Fire Emblem is we get a remake of one of these games that we're talking about, and then suddenly Sigurd or Micaiah or somebody is our most likely chance for because of the most recent Lord again.
Reinhardt. The Heroes community would lose their shit. Reinhardt is the original Fire Emblem Heroes meme.
Him and that bald guy.
Reese, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But yeah, the character is good, but again, it's an important main character to one game, and he's not the Lord. He's not the Lord. So
right, he's Lord adjacent.
Chances. Yeah, he is the, looking at Engage or Three Houses. He's like the Diamant or the Alfred to Alear, or
one
he's
of
like
one of the 6 characters that's actually in the cutscenes.
Yeah. Although Path of Radiance did a pretty good job with their characters.
Meg.
The glory days. Even Meg has more character growth than, say, Jade and Cage. So, and I'm a writer. I should like that character. But, anywho,
she's too dry.
What do you mean by that?
Hello. I talk like this.
Yep.
There's just not much going on.
No, there's not.
Okay.
I'll say like 5%.
I was feeling 3.
Yeah, it's just like really low, but it is a Nintendo character, so at least there's that.
Here's the thing. From all of my experience hearing about Marth Emblem from you guys from the years on the internet, the one thing I saw is that Jonathan had Ranulf as his profile picture on all of these for a while. And the one thing that I can tell you is very unique about Ranulf is he's the first hat-type Fire Emblem character. And because of that, I would give him a 10%, because that is very unique compared to Marth.
Now I'm thinking if he actually is the first character to wear a hat.
I mean, Hardin has a turban in the first game. So if you count a turban as a hat, then Hardin wins already. And Joshua has a hat in Sacred Stones. So Randolph loses the Hat Wars.
But is it a hat that actually only... It's like a visor. He's the first one to wear a visor.
He's the first one to wear a weird fucking hat. A hat that's not a hat. It's a bandana with flaps.
Yep.
Oh, he gets...
That's called...
Hats mean better. So they would all be better than Marth 7.
That does... He would be a better character than most of the Marth clones in Smash Brothers. Yes.
All right, so you're with 10% then?
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to average out to 6% for our good old Catboy.
All right.
If he was a Mikote, he might score better. But, wrong game.
Huh?
Yeah, you don't know. He doesn't know.
That is my character.
Final Fantasy. Your character's a Mikote?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's an Aura. With, like, almost max height, because I want to feel good about myself. And it's weird sometimes I'll look at some characters and be like, I am towering over you. This is odd. But fuck it. Alright, our final Rate Their Chances character tonight, and quite possibly our weirdest. Yeah, you're going there. It's Ty the Tasmanian Tiger.
Yes!
You may have noticed we had a theme tonight. They're all animals. There's a reason for that, which you can tell by the title of the video or audio, wherever you're watching this. Hello, RSS audio listeners once again. I don't know if you guys listen to the Smash Dash or you just listen to the Smashtopias, but hi.
Oh, they listen to a good spread.
That's actually impressive, honestly.
I'll send you the numbers after this. Yeah,
I'm curious, truly. So Tyler Tasmanian Tiger, we had the two of them laughing about it. That's because this was a community meme for us. It goes all the way back to our SSB Mercurios days. And,
15
well, the
good
past
years ago.
still wants us back in 2002 as Jonno
Sorry,
jumps in bush with you.
16 years ago. God.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Old people. Old
Man.
people.
Oh, God. So Ty, he did get remakes in the past couple years. Of at least the first game. I don't know if his other games got remakes. I don't know the first game did. But this is a Tasmanian Tiger boy from Australia. He uses boomerangs for his weapons, and he has got different kinds of boomerangs that have fire, frost, electricity, other weird shit. He's like Crash Bandicoot, but he throws boomerangs instead of spins himself around.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all I know about
Smash
Ty.
Skiff fly through sky.
Smash Skiff do fly through sky.
Ty was a character who came around in the early 2000s where we just saw, unlike a little later on, I feel like platformers became before the indie era really kicked in, were fewer and further between. And so we really but back in the early 2000s, this was still the heyday of the origins of 3D gaming.
PS2.
We were coming in. Mm-hmm. People wanted to be Mario and Sonic and Kingdom Hearts and Jack and Daxter and.
It's wild how many 3D platformers we got, especially on PlayStation back then, and the vast majority of them were animal people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got Spyro, who granted it's not an animal people, he's still animal. You got Crash Bandicoot. You got Tasmanian Tiger. You got Sly Cooper. And then more of the human side of things. There's Ratchet and Clank. There's Jack and Daxter. So many. It's wild. And now they're all gone for the most part.
Mm-hmm. And yet Ty remains.
I mean, we got the Crash and Spyro remakes too. But Ty's last new game was actually just on PC. 2013.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it came to Steam in 2015, so.
Yeah. Not too long ago.
Out of the process.
8 years.
Yeah. God. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger.
Which is wild, because apparently all three of his other games, his first three games, were all on PS2. And then it's fucking 8 years later, a PC game. It's like, goddamn.
There was a clamoring for it, apparently. People really missed him.
And he was originally an Activision game character. Fuck. What is with Activision?
I don't know. But I would say that Ty...
EA Games? It looks like... Because they originally... Chrome Studios made it. But then it looks like EA Games helped with the first one, or maybe they were part of EA Games. But then by the third one, they were part of Activision. What the hell?
My goodness. Getting shopped around, next thing you know, is going to be bought by Nintendo.
I mean, that's what happened to Spyro. He got shopped around to hell.
Yeah, that's true. I would say that Ty was at the top of the heap of the B rank platforming characters, he wasn't quite Mario and Crash, but he was well regarded for a long time. And there was a certain character in our forums from back in the day, in the Mercurius days, who loved Ty, the Tasmanian Tiger.
Good old James.
And did not necessarily speak with the same acumen that we do. So came up with a number of in-joke memes amongst our community that we still use today. I want to jump in bush with you. Followed up with, sorry, I am Australian. Smash Skiff, fly through sky. It's why I have a meme.
The past still wants me.
Yes, the past still wants me. And you, beauty. I want to jump in bush with you. Which has been adapted to hell and back over the years, including on this podcast. And also, a quick fun fact is that Lister had me tribute James on the Smashtopia wiki in the last year. So I actually created a Ty the Tasmanian Tiger moveset and 2 separate Ty-themed stages. One of which was the Smash Skiff. from the subspace emissary, flying through like the outback with TIE characters. So, and that's my TIE's, or it was for a time, TIE's actual home stage on the Smashtopia wiki, until Lister begged me to make an actual canonical TIE stage.
I did.
Uh-huh. And then I did.
And then I made that be the home stage for the Primid. I stole it from you. I don't remember if I told you that, but yeah, it's now Primid's home stage because I made a Primid moveset.
Incredible. And yeah, and Primids appear on the stage, and it just so happens to be in the Australian outback.
Yeah.
Go check that out. Ty, I mean, less than Ranulph? I mean, where were we going to go with this? This is one of those instances. You can't say something 0% because that's not the way the game goes. You can't do 0, you can't do 100, but I don't think Ty is more than like 2%.
Trevor?
Well, considering that Ty is a Tasmanian tiger and those are extinct, let's go with the nice, healthy 0.
You can't.
So a 1.
Oh, okay. 1.
I'm also going with the 1.
It averages out to a 1.5. So
No, it doesn't.
Hey,
That's a 1.3. You can't have a 0.5 when you have 3 numbers that you're adding together.
That's right. Wow.
So these numbers this episode are all about how I expected. Tails is the only one with a high score. Ty gets a no score.
What was Tails' number again?
65. Tails is actually, of this season's characters, number 3. Of course, across all of our rate their chances this season. If you look at last season and include the top 3 for this in combined, he's in the top 10, but he's definitely lower than the top 3.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But with that, I think we can go ahead and move on from rate their chances. We can move on to what is supposed to be the main feature of the episode. It's time for Smash or Dash. You know the drill. We'll pit 2 characters against each other. We'll discuss their merits, talk a little bit about who they are, what they are, and we'll choose, which one we would put in the Smash and which one's hopes we would Dash. Except doing things a little bit differently. Every now and then, we like to mix it up, and instead of having 2 matchups of 2 characters each, we have a battle royale. And we decided to do a battle royale today because, Trevor, we have a particular theme with you, right? It's all about pigs. So we have picked out 4 Nintendo pigs to put in a battle royale where we will debate all 4 and choose which 2 we would put into Smash if we had to. So.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get it done. We usually discuss who's going to do the intro for which character ahead of time, but we are in a rush and we didn't do that. So I'm just going to start it off right here, right now. Jonno, give us the opening pitch on Pigma Dengar.
Oh, buddy. Pigma Dengar is one bad motherfucker. By that, I mean he's a bad guy. He's kind of crazy and unlikable. Like
me.
Who likes Pigma? When you get there, I mean, a few fires later, I think that you guys are fairly similar. Pigma was an ex-Star Wolf mercenary who worked with, who conceded with Andros behind their back to kill James McCloud.
So you mean an ex-Star Fox member then?
No, Star Wolf.
But you said an ex-Star Wolf member who worked behind James's back. It's like, sorry.
He was both. He was Star Fox and Star Wolf for a time. Should have mentioned that, but yeah, he did. He's responsible for Fox's dad's death, and even though Andros is the primary antagonist of the Star Fox series, Pigma is a little more personal. Somewhere along the way, he becomes infected by the Aparoid Queen and Star Fox Assault, and that's a whole new monster that you have to fight. And then ultimately dies at the hands of Fox.
but he comes back in command.
Oh God. Which is non-canon, thank God.
Although I think it's supposed to be like it's like something survived the Pigma, and you have to fight him in multiple of the different timelines. It's like, oh God, he's a cube now. It's weird.
I vaguely remember that. I certainly didn't when you brought it up.
Yeah,
but that's messily enough. That is Pigma. He's a bad man.
He's a bad man. All right,
from outer space.
Turbo.
Yo.
Give me the pitch on Wizpig, if you know who that is.
The pitch on Wizpig. Wizpig, if I remember, is the primary antagonist of Diddy Kong Racing on Nintendo 64. So, as far as what he does in the game, not really a whole lot that goes on. Like, there's other bosses that you race, and then eventually, once you get enough golden balloons and time trial pieces and keys, you finally challenge him on races through courses to beat him and, I guess, restore peace to wherever Diddy Kong Racing takes place, because it's kind of an island thing, but it's got a lot going on.
Wizpig, I will add.
It's Timber's Island, which is a neighbor of Donkey Kong Island.
Mm-hmm. So Wizpig travels, he is a racing.
He's from another planet.
Yeah,
he conquered his planet because he was bored.
Yeah, and if he wins against Diddy Kong in a race and his friends, then he will conquer that Donkey Kong planet and destroy it.
Yeah,
it's basically the story.
Races are not a way to distribute power.
Why? I mean, it's happened in Diddy Kong Racing. Then it happened in all of the Crash Bandicoot racing games. It's like, yeah, an alien comes down. It's like, who's your best racer? We don't really do that much, but I'll say me. Cool. If you lose to me, your planet is mine. What?
Who's your best racer?
In the sequel. It's like, what?
Who is it? Real or fake Dingo Dial?
Real or fake Rillaroo?
Oh, yeah. Rillaroo. Or the item box crate.
But yeah, that's pretty much Wizpig. Let's go with me. I'm going to give you all a primer on Midbus. Midbus is another big old pig, as you can imagine. He only appears in Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, and he's meant to be Bowser's counter, because in that game, Bowser is one of the characters that you control. He's a playable character, and that's who you fight as on the map's overworld, while Mario and Luigi are inside of Bowser.
I thought there was a rule about this.
You're right. Yeah. So in Midbus, is supposed to be like Bowser's. You fight him multiple times. He's supposed to be like. He's got Bowser physicality. That's really what they're going up against. He's Fawful's minion, because this is the game where Fawful is the main antagonist instead of being the minion that he was in Superstar Saga. In Midbus, he's got generally like your basic punches, physical type stuff. But then later on in the game, he gets a little transformation, and he becomes Blizzard Midbus, and he gets ice powers alongside of everything else he can do.
Yeah. He can inhale people too, can he? Or was that just Bowser?
He probably can. I feel like he can. Okay. It's been a long time since I played Bowser's Inside Story.
Okay.
But it seems probable.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Cool.
Jonno, tell us about our final character here. Emboar.
Oh, okay. Emboar is a pig. Surprise, surprise. He's a bipedal Pokemon evolution. Surprise, surprise. From he is the final form of Tepig, Gen 4 starter, and is he has how would you describe this design? Like kind of
Chinese
grappler-esque.
Journey to the West-esque.
Yeah, there are some obvious like Asian
But yeah, he's like
influence
a
in the
sumo
designs.
wrestler type.
So he is a sumo boar who has fire techniques and does things as a Pokemon. Helps you become the champion of your region and more.
If you choose him.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to choose
I don't think I did.
third firefighting starter in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What I chose Turtwig, I'm pretty sure.
Turtwig is Gen 4, sir.
Yeah. Isn't this Gen 4?
This is Gen 5.
Oh,
sir.
it's Gen 5. Oh, I chose fucking Smugleaf.
Good choice. I chose what is he called? Oshawott.
Yeah, he has the little shell.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. Yeah.
Oshawott, definitely.
Asha.
I want to.
Funny thing is, I originally hated his design because I thought the show was stupid, and then I saw the anime episode where it's like, oh, it's a weapon. Oh, that makes it infinitely cooler than just a shell on his belly. It's like, okay, I'm with this now. Because I thought it was just like he's got a shell on his belly. It's like that's dumb as fuck. It was like, oh, it's a weapon.
Yeah,
okay.
he'll cut you with that shell.
Yeah, he will. Jesus. All right, let's get into things here. So we got 4 characters. Some of them have more tools than others. We have 2 that are effectively racers, if you want to think about it in the way, or like they're vehicle drivers. Pigma, much like Fox, Falco, Wolf, not really seen outside of the R-Wing. I mean, they all were, except for Fox and Falco, and I think Wolf is also playable in the multiplayer for Assault. They can be, they also have some like out-of-vehicle combat, but Pigma has never been seen outside of the vehicle, but that's really a problem because Fox is in Smash 64, so who the hell cares about that? Captain Falcon, another good example of that. But then what they would do with him for fighting is a big old question mark for me. I don't know. Like, you could do another variation of their 3 shared special moves. I don't know how to make it further interesting for a character like Pigma. For like a character like Slippy, I can imagine how you could have him do like a twist on their typical moveset to make it interesting. Pigma, I have a harder time thinking about that for. Wizpig, I mean, he could. There's 3 different vehicles in Diddy Kong Racing that he could use between the standard cart, the hovercraft, and the airplane. And beyond that, he has his magic that he can do things with. He probably has a teleport. He has a hypnosis because that's how he gets the other bosses under his control. He hypnotizes them to race for him. And we don't really know like what else he can do, but they could just make up some other magic shit. Midbus, he's got a ground pound attack. He's got his blizzard transformation. He can swing around wrecking balls, do spinning attacks. Massive uppercut apparently is one of the things he can do. Breathe out ice, as mentioned. And then Emboar. He's a Pokemon, so there's a lot to pull from right there. Pokemon's pretty easy to come up with stuff for. He's a firefighting type. He's got things like arm thrust, hammer arm, ember, flame charge. There's a signature move, heat crash. There's flare blitz. There's assurance, rollout. There's a lot to pull from for that.
Sorry, what was the signature move?
Heat crash.
Got it.
It's basically especially a flaming ground pound, and it deals more damage based on the user's weight versus the opponent's weight.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Emboar's a pretty meaty guy, so.
Yeah.
Apparently, Fire Punch is also a pretty particular move for Emboar back in the day, at least during Gen 5. Okay. Interesting. We have a swath of characters here. Funnily enough, like, besides Emboar being a Pokemon and just being most known for being a Pokemon,
Emboar doesn't learn Fire Punch.
Yeah, interesting. Because in the trivia on the same page that we're looking at, it says, "Oh yeah, he knows a move called Fire Punch." And it's like, what? Oh right, it says this in the Pokedex, even though it doesn't know how. the hell?
Yeah, that's
That is
that's
so
a thing
strange.
that Pokemon likes to do.
Nice. Wonderful. Besides just Emboar being the most well-known just because he's a Pokemon, I think empirically speaking here, like the most important character out of all these characters is Pigma. And it's like, oh, we live in a universe where that's something
Oh,
that
wait,
exists.
here we go.
So,
Emboar can only learn Fire Punch by Move Tutor. And that's only
there
that's
you go.
starting in Black and White 2.
Yeah. Sakurai tosses Emboar in there. He's like, yeah, oh, do you know this trivia about Emboar? Here's Fire Punch.
You know this trivia about Emboar? Here's Yawn and Sing and Toxic and Bulldoze.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Emboar is a cross between Captain Falcon and Jigglypuff
Yes.
for the next echo of both of them.
It's canon now.
Mm-hmm. I think probably I don't know. I think there's something nostalgic and funny about Wizpig's design. I'm kind of particular towards Midbus as well. I think that he has the most maybe immediately unique. Like Wizpig, you'd have to figure something out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Midbus, I mean, yeah.
something with vehicles and then a hypnosis attack. Maybe you could do an easy teleport. But then beyond that, Wizpig is a blank slate.
Yeah. He is a wizard pig, so just pull from the wizard slate and toss it in there. Queue up on his like being a maniacal character. Make him a Punisher magician type character. It would be unique. It would be cool. It's just that for the purpose of this conversation, it's hard to shop that moveset. Midbus, at least, I mean, he has the rollout attack, the ice attack, the sucking attack. There's a lot of interesting stuff that's right there. That to me makes him a standout right now in the early stages of this conversation. Pigma, I mean, he just kind of falls into the same trap that so many other Star Fox characters do. First of all, speaking of 4 Marths, we have 3 Foxes. Basically. I mean, Wolf does a better job. They did a better job with Falcon and Wolf as the games went on. But ultimately, they're all built off of the same idea. So, you know, and the argument goes, if you were to differentiate, say, Wolf further, you can give him weapons from Assault. Okay, great. Now Pigma's in. What the hell do you do to, you know, you've now exhausted all your weapon types. What do you do? Besides giving him maybe like an Aperoid thing for his final smash, or turn him into a cube for his final smash if you really want to. It's yeah, the soul of Pigma just didn't quite hit as well as the soul of Andros did on Venom.
Yeah. So like I said earlier that, you know, like there's very few characters comparatively compared to like the vast amount of video game characters in existence that I would have a hard time coming up with ideas for. Pigma is one of those characters that I would have a hard time with.
Mm-hmm. I kind of the obvious thing I think would be, you know, he has that his body type is he's like a lumbering pig dude. Have him be kind of like a lumbering character like Wario, kind of aloof with the way that he fights, and but still very deliberate.
You have a very amusing run animation.
Yeah, you run and you like flail into things and beat people up with your tiny little arms. You know, it'd really be something. He has like T-Rex hands. Just
Big
pathetic.
head and little arms.
Just pathetic. He's one of very few Nintendo characters who truly you love to hate, like a lot. He is scum. He is the there's not many characters I can draw this back to. So even though it's the franchise that, you know, unfortunately, he is the Wormtail of the Star Fox series.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And the worm tongue.
But yep. But he never turns. He never has a moment of realization. He is a piece of shit all the way through. And I think when you make this character in Smash, you just kind of play on that. And even if he's a clone of Fox or a pseudo clone or whatever, how you differentiate him is you make him crazy with his attacks. You make him uh, blast a little harder, have some sort of crazier gun that goes out in an array instead of in a straight line. Small things like that. His fox illusion would be absolutely ridiculous. He just rolls or something all along the ground, like in mud, like a pig, you know.
I was thinking when we were trying to think of like the very first move that came to mind for how to make Pigma was like, I don't know, some kind of roll around attack. That's all I got. I got nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or like, and you can
Like,
make him have like a
these other three. I could make something for these other three. Wizpig, as we said, he has less too, but I can make something work. Midbus has the tools, not as many, but an Emboar can be very easily done. Pigma, I'm just like, man, fucking how?
Play into his bad shit and make him use more explosive weapons or something. I don't know. Somebody made a moveset based off of his fight in Star Fox Assault, where he was a giant Aperoid possessed Elu. That's weird.
I mean, you absolutely could try to pull something from that. It's been a while since I've seen that fight, but that would be a good way to pull some inspiration.
Let's see, like they're making,
or like I don't know if like the different the Venom fighter spaceships. I don't know if they have like a kind of special like specific laser spread that their ships tend to use. His gun could be based off that.
Interesting. Credit is where credit's due, I guess, to William, the hero of Hyrule on DeviantArt.
Congratulations for saving Hyrule.
Yep. He uses neo lasers, which is adapted into a gun, of course, with the standard special, but it shoots out spherical, like electrical bolts instead of standard.
Okay.
The side special is him using a missile launcher from Assault. So it's like, okay, that's something that we talked about being a potential thing for any number of characters. Up B is a Neo teleport from his Aperoid possessed thing. Yeah, right. One of them leaves a black hole behind. Interesting. And another one is using the burning columns from his cube fight in Command, where he brings down the Neo burner green light like right in front of him, like Pikachu's thunder.
Okay.
And then in his final smash, he transforms into Aperoid Pigma.
Yeah, I figured.
So there's things to do. It may not be the most inspired just because of what you're working with. I guess there's things to do. He's more viable than he was when we started this conversation anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Emboar, I just have trouble caring about because I'm like, really?
Because it's another fire Pokemon, and we've already got Charizard and Incineroar.
Yeah.
And there's also the like in-universe Pokemon fatigue. It's like, okay, so we have Blaziken, firefighting started for Gen 3. We have Infernape, firefighting started for Gen 4. We have Emboar, firefighting started for Gen 5. Honestly, like, I don't think Emboar would be... I wouldn't say he's hated or detested, but I think he would be appreciated a lot more if he wasn't the third firefighting starter in a row. He would be appreciated a lot more.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's not a bad design. It's kind of cool, actually. But then, I think about other fire character. Like, if we had to have a fire...
They could have gone, like,
Pokemon...
Fire Ground or Fire Rock for him. That would have been cooler. I would have been down for that. His design would have to be, like, changed up a little bit. But I think it could have worked.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I actually quite like Delphox, which apparently not a lot of people do.
I just want the ear hair to be trimmed. Otherwise, I like Delphox, just the ear hairs. Like, all right, listen. Why do you have ear hair sticking out a foot from your ears? That's just weird. And it looks like, and it's stiff. It's so stiff. At least on Finnegan, it looks just like, it looks like fur. But in Delphox, it just looks like fucking horns sticking out your ears.
Oh, I never
Ah.
saw the Pokemon Go like 3D design. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, the 3D models a lot of times
They're
are bad for Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
They're bad.
Yeah, the 2D art is okay. It's whatever. But when you see that in 3D, it's not really amazing.
Yeah.
It looks like a Mario Brothers mustache is coming out of their ears.
A Wario mustache.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where I'm at with Emboar. I mean, it's obvious that the moveset capability is there. It's the most clear cut because it's Pokemon. Period.
Yep.
It's just the question of, do we really want it when Charizard and Incineroar are there? I don't know. Wizpig, I mean, for all intents and purposes, being the hardest one to maybe make a moveset for, him or Pigma. The design is just charming. You look at his goofy ass face, you're like, you really want to destroy the world? I mean, okay.
I mean, if I look
fun.
like that.
Yeah, that's fair. It would be fun. I mean, again, just lean really hard into magic. Him being an alien, him running around totally demented across these courses when he's like 30 feet tall could easily be the final smash. Him just going. So there's stuff to work with here. I have talked a lot, but I am going to cap it off by saying my leans in this discussion.
We haven't even heard from Trevor.
Oh.
Alrighty.
My lean in this conversation is Trevor. That's where I was going.
All right. All right. So here, my thoughts as far as everybody goes is like Midbus character maybe not a lot of people know, but has a great repertoire. I would say like, yeah, I think that has a good chance. Pigma. No, unless you're pulling from Star Fox Assault, there's not really anything interesting enough to make a new character for. Emboar, yeah, there's a ton to work with, but as you guys stated, it's one of many fire/fighting types. We already got Incineroar, so other than representing another type of wrestling, there's not much new being brought to the table with that.
Yeah.
Wizpig, however, Wizpig, so hilarious seeing him cheese on all of this artwork.
He's a weirdo for sure.
To bring so much goofiness to bring to Smash. So
totally,
it might be clear which two I would recommend.
Okay. Interesting. And just for a quick primer on Wizpig, there are movesets that exist on the internet. So for a quick rundown, really quick, someone from the Super Smash Brothers fandom wiki made a moveset that only has names on it. Maybe it could give us a little bit of a quick rundown. The neutral special is called Wizpig Thunder Crush.
Okay.
The side special is called Wizpig Charge. So I'm assuming that's the
Probably.
thing. The up special is Wizpig Teleport. I'm disappointed in this.
Yeah.
You can.
I mean,
you
teleport.
Can clearly.
He does. He has seen the. We do know that one of the few things he can do is teleport. So.
Mm-hmm. Also fair. Come on, steal Taj's carpet.
No, Wart's taking Pidgeot's carpet. We already talked about that.
Oh, yeah, we had good. Down special move is the Wizpig Energy Barrier. And the final smash is the Wizpig Blast Wave. There's also some fans on Reddit that are really interested in seeing Wizpig in the game. There's a whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 comments and 4 upvotes in this post from 2 years ago about it. So
that's more than expected.
yeah. So there is an active community rallying around Wizpig right now.
Huh.
I get it. Just look at his smile.
I mean,
And he has those little like Heihachi hairs apparently on his head.
Mm.
Yeah. If we're not going to get that Mishima in, then there you go.
oh my
I like his
God,
teeth
he
as
does.
well.
I didn't
Mhm.
realize that was here. And he's got a little like red cap of some kind on top of his head too. Like it looks
It's
like a
more
little steel
ridiculous.
plate that's like bolted onto his forehead. Oh my
That thing
God.
comes down from outer space and is like, I'm going to kill you all.
This is what happens when Heihachi dies and is reborn as Wizpig.
Imagine. Oh my goodness. Funny guy.
Cursed.
No, that's in Star Fox Command too.
Yeah, you're right. All right. So at this point, we got traitorous flying through the sky Pigma, who would basically just be like a more rough and tumble version of the other space animals. You could give him some kind of like laser gun based off of either like the Aperoid fighters or the Venom fighters. Give him some kind of like a charging attack. Give him like a headbutt. Honestly, the Final Smash involving Aperoid Pigma makes less sense because the pitch I had in mind for it was Pigma just like doing a short charge headbutt a character into a cinematic, and then like the cinematic is less about Pigma attacking and more about an Aperoid infecting him, and he just goes out of control and just goes on a rampage against whoever the fighter was. Basically, with Pig, you had a magical racer alien who can teleport, who can hypnotize. In his Final Smash, I mean, he could grow big and stomp on people or race over them or something. I don't know, man. Midbus, I don't know if the Blizzard would be part of his standard special or started his standard moveset, or you make that be the Final Smash, like have him go with the Blizzard transformation. I don't know. But either way, you know, he's gonna be more of a brutish fighter. He's meant to be. He's Faffel's answer to try and get Bowser to stop. And he's kind of like a pig crossed with an armadillo, crossed with a bull. He's like all three combined, which is interesting. Yeah. And then there's Emboar. He punches. He's got fire. He's a Pokemon. It's pretty simple enough with him.
Pokemon.
Gotta get him out. Gotta catch him
all, Pokemon.
Except for the mythical Pokemon that they make unavailable to catch unless you go to the very specific events in Japan.
Midbus?
Mew is not under the truck.
No.
Anywho.
Okay.
At this point, does anybody have anything else they want to talk about the characters before we get to our lanes and decisions?
Pigma is one of very few characters in a video game, especially a Nintendo video game, that I've wanted to kill myself.
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
They're
Yeah.
insane. He's always bragging about how he killed Fox McCloud's father and how he wants to hear him scream like James McCloud too. So he's just like really
this is why
really awful.
This is why I want a Star Fox prequel. Have James McCloud as the lead and get young Peppy, get young Pigma on there, maybe have young General Pepper involved in the story, and then it all ends with that betrayal. The game has to end with that betrayal. I want to see that. It'd be more interesting than a fucking another version of Star Fox 64 and the Lylat Wars. It's what Star Fox Zero should have been based off of its name alone. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Fair. It's fair. Very much so. But that is my submitted final comments before the verdict.
All right. Let's get to it then. Here's how this is going to work. We're going to start by going with one character at a time. And we're going to just go around and say if you're picking one of these four, which one are you picking? Then from there, we'll kind of figure. Actually, should we do it that way, or should we just say two names? Because I know we've done it as two names in the past, and we kind of see like what chaos comes out of it. I feel like that's what we should be doing.
Okay. I was gonna say I kind of liked what you were cooking up at first, but yeah.
All right, so let's go with two names. We could say no. We'll just say two right away. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, who are your two?
Cool. My two are Midbus and Wizpig.
All right, Jonno?
Do I want to make this interesting?
How about I go next then?
Yeah,
I'm going to go with Midbus, and shockingly, I didn't think I was going to go this direction. I thought I was going to go the Emboar direction. I'm actually going to say Pigma for my second. Jonno, you going over that moveset that I forgot his name, that the person dug up on DeviantArt, actually started brewing some ideas in my head. So I went with Pigma for my second.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Midbus and Wizpig and Midbus and Pigma.
Yep.
Okay. Wizpig and Pigma.
I should not have gone next.
I was gonna say, you really want to leave that much power in Jonathan's hands?
No, I don't. All right, so Emboar is out of the discussion. I'm just going to remove him from the graphic. He got no votes, which is not strictly surprising.
No.
All right, so here's how we're going to do this now. We're going to say our number one. We're going to do that next and just cut this down easier. My number one is Midbus.
My number one is also Midbus.
Jonno?
His number one is also Midbus, even though he didn't vote for him.
Technically speaking, if we go by that logic, then we have already won with Midbus.
Yeah, but we need to select two to move on. So it can't just be Midbus.
So Turbo and the audience may have heard what you were just saying, but I did not because my headset cut out. So could you please repeat?
Yeah, I said we technically need two characters to move on. So even if I said Midbus to Troll right now, we would still need to pick another character.
Yeah. So Midbus, by Turbo and I's decree, Midbus is moving on. He has survived. He is getting into Smash by our decree. So I guess now at this point we move on to the secondary characters. We might as well have Jonno say a Pigma and Wizpig, which is his top pick. But I think that'd be less interesting to have him be the next one to speak. So Turbo, I think it's obvious who your number one between Pigma and Wizpig is.
Yeah, I would say it's Wizpig.
And I say it's Pigma. So now, Jonno, we go back to you. Pigma or Wizpig?
I'm feeling so
Festive?
testy and flirtatious with both of these pig men.
Oink oink.
So I am
At least they're not
gonna ask my coworkers here. Why is Wizpig your number one choice, Trevor?
Wizpig is my number one choice. For a mix of nostalgia.
Fair.
And also just I like the character more than I hate Pigma. Like I do hate Pigma, but I to a point where he'd be a good character just to be awful. But
yeah.
Wizpig, just the sheer goofiness of the character, wanting to race people to try to take over the world is. I don't know. It's just so cartoonishly goofy that I love his character a bit more. Not that Pigma's like evil is any more grounded or
insane.
Yeah. But I'll take the one that tries to take over the world by racing people instead of the one who tries to take over the world by getting bread money to kill people.
It's shockingly real. I think that more so than even say Ridley. That's where where it becomes a little more human and personal, which is why I would like to kill Pigma, but he's already dead, at least in the non-command timeline. So, Lister, why is Pigma your number one choice of these two?
So it comes down to a couple reasons. One, that user that you found on DeviantArt actually had I would not take the whole moveset as it is, but it gave me a starting point to be like, okay, I could see where I could go with making a Pigma moveset, whereas before you went into that, I had no fucking clue. So it started cooking up some ideas for me, and those ideas were, even though while they are still based off of the other space animals, that the ideas were still more interesting to me than Wizpig, which was like, okay, you got your teleport, you got probably a charge 4 with a vehicle, you got a hypnosis move that's basically like Mewtwo's hypnosis or Jigglypuff's sing. And then I was just looking at the characters. Wizpig is, I mean, yeah, there's some goof to him, but there's not really much to him as far as like character perspective inside of Diddy Kong Racing. But Pigma, he's surprisingly important to the Star Fox series. And with a series where you really can't do the main antagonist, Andros, as a character, Pigma is kind of like your next best. Because Wolf is more of an anti-hero than an antagonist. He's first introduced as an antagonist, but by the time of Assault, you find out, oh, wow, yeah, no, he's actually not really a villain. He's not a good guy, but he's not strictly speaking a villain either. He's a bounty hunter, essentially. He's a scrupulous bounty hunter, but he's a bounty hunter. And Pigma, I think by that nature, he's a little bit more interesting as a character. Because, yeah, he's a son of a bitch. He is. Just fall on out. That's what he is. And I think that'd be kind of interesting to see him just running around. You have a character. There are so few of the villains in Smash that are just like straight up villains. I would say Ridley, obviously, and I'd say Sephiroth, obviously. Arguably King K. Rool? Arguably? But then, I guess in Ganondorf. But then you have like Bowser, who's like half a villain on a good day. And Pigma would be another big hit to the like, no, yeah, this guy's fucked up. This guy's real fucked up.
Yeah, whereas Wizpig is more in that Bowser-esque category that you're talking about.
I wouldn't even put him there. He's just like there, honestly.
Well, I see that argument, since he's less of a character and more of a device in Diddy Kong Racing, if you get it. He is there for you to defeat and doesn't serve much more purpose. But it's a really funny design. It's hey, there's my friend. My dog just walked in. Hello, Xander.
Hey, Xander.
Xander Mobus?
Yeah.
Xander.
Wow.
That guy.
The Smash Brothers announcer is here with us. Holy shit.
Absolutely. Better than from Fire Emblem. He's a decent character, actually.
He's okay. He's not bad.
Yeah.
He's more reasonable than Takumi.
Oh God. I would choose Emboar over Takumi.
Yeah. Takumi might be my least favorite of the royals from Fates.
He's one of my least favorite Fire Emblem characters. Good lord. Okay, so I see both of your arguments. Pigma is the more substantial character. Wizpig is the more fantastical. Like, we don't necessarily see just straight out, you have to innovate this character and slap him into Smash Brothers because it's a blank slate. That's interesting in itself. And you don't really see character design like Wizpig's much anymore. It's so distinctly 1990s. So this is charm there that I recognize. Again, this is truly like a 51 to 49% ratio.
And that's why you're going with Emboar.
Hell no. no, I can't. I can't drag it on much longer if we have to involve Emboar in this. I think we all knew pretty early on that they would be the first one out. This has become
it would be Wizpig, honestly.
I did too.
This has become more of a spirited discussion than I thought. Both Wizpig and Pigma have more potential. I realize this now as character options than I did going in. I thought both of them. I was like, Pigma's going to be a clone, and Wizpig, I don't know what the hell we're going to do. you know. Midbus was always clearly the number one. I kind of just said Wizpig and Pigma to troll.
Yeah.
But
we know.
It brought up good conversation.
It did.
At the end of the day, that's what matters.
And ultimately, I am really interested in seeing which of these, no matter who's chosen, and also including Midbus, if any of these characters have a chance in hell of making it far in the Tournament of Champions. That'll be a fun time.
They don't. I mean, who knows? They could get a really easy matchup. We don't know. We have no idea who's going to win future Smash Dashes this season.
And it's also, I mean, you randomize the seating, which is how Tony Hawk got third place in our last one.
Yeah,
so
anything's
possible. Anything's possible. And I would love for Wizpig to show up and just trounce people because it's just so random. But my gut tells me Pigma. So I will be voting for Pigma. Which, to be completely frank, I did not think I would going into this.
I thought my vote's going to be Midbus and Emboar, honestly. I was just like, it's just easy. It's like, all right, the Pokemon makes sense over these two fucking yahoos.
Pigma really is the more interesting character out of most of these.
Yeah.
I think out of any of them, personally.
I mean, he's the only one of these four with character, honestly.
True.
Yeah, Midbus is also, going back to the device argument, he's a foil to Bowser and not a whole lot else. Actually, nothing else, literally.
Yeah.
Looking at this speech blurb right here, his great impactful dialogue is, "You, no longer needed. Here, you taste defeat."
Just wait until he tells that to Quote and Curly when he wins against that in their matchup in the Tournament of Champions.
Now you face Hot Wrath, the hot wrath of my freezing blizzard attack. Here, your long journey ends.
Very eloquent. Very very well built character. There's so much to say about his internal struggles with defeating Bowser.
The clock strikes payback hour. Do plan 2. To your posts. Sense is for the weak.
My gosh. So
yeah,
what you're saying is that we should have had the pig from Minecraft in this.
I'm really glad that you guys picked Pigma, because I feel like now, just a reminder of who Midbus is. We don't need two poorly characterized pig characters.
No, we already poorly characterized pig characters with Pigma Dengar. I mean, fuck. Porky Mitch. Fuck.
But who is a very well realized pig character is Trevor. Turbotaxer right here.
Bad Boy Man.
I'm so glad.
Where's our Bad Boy Man assist trophy?
That can happen.
Write it down.
That can happen.
Write it down.
He drops French fries.
It'll go in the Project Believe universe.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Probably, yeah.
That's fair game. That is fair game.
It is.
That is very fair game. Let's do it.
It's a real book that you can buy on Amazon.
It is.
Wait, is it on Amazon? I don't know. Okay. Well, you can also buy it Rocket 2032.
Unfortunately, yes. You can. You can.
Hey,
I don't know where that royalty check's going anymore.
Your parents.
Send me to. No, I mean it's at my old address from 20 years ago. And
should probably change that.
There's some bookstores in France that
you said we're getting 140 views. You need to update this before people start buying it. You don't get your money.
I don't know how to reclaim that. How about this? We'll rewrite it. I'll see you in the actual year 2032 with the reboot.
With the sequel?
Yeah.
Rocket 2074.
There was a sequel where Jose and Trevor and I went on a F-Zero like race. And that was the story basically.
Was that the G0 Grand Prix? like in Star Fox Command.
No, the Jonno Zero.
The Juju Zero.
Yeah,
The J0.
Rocket 2032. I mean, it was the basis of the story was Jose was a student from the year 2032 who went back in time to the year 2006 to observe me for several years as part of a like long essay to his class because I am a famous inventor in 2032. So yeah, the
You
nepotism.
don't got much time left.
Yeah.
You better get to work on inventing something.
I also need to spike my hair and grow a mustache and wear like a Hawaiian shirt.
Do you even have facial hair?
Let's think about what was cool what I thought was cool in 2006.
I really need to start working on
Cool
that
or
more.
cool, or is that what an eccentric would have in 2032?
I basically just thought I was the Hapa Guy Fieri. Yeah, I grow facial hair. I have a lot of hair on me, actually. There's a very strong portion of me that is German. So, yeah.
Oh yes.
Well,
Well,
I think we
What a
need to
productive
end this
episode.
show, so we're gonna move on. Trevor, this is the 6th time that you've been on here. I don't know why you keep telling us yes, but you do. We'll have you on again someday. Probably not pig related. I think we've run out of pig things to cover.
we'll see about that.
I don't listen. We struggled finding pig characters for this episode. We struggled. We
An
tried to
interview
find
with
other
Trevor.
options besides Pigma and Wizpig, and we couldn't
Special
find
episode.
any.
Just
was
talking
not
about
easy.
Bob Oyman's origin. We workshop Bob Oyman as a special character. There we go.
Nope, not
Yep.
doing that. Instead, next time on Supercast Brothers, it's a non-topic. We kind of teased this one earlier in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Let's chat F-Zero. How can we bring it back to life? It needs like 20 defibrillators at this point. What can we do? Well, we'll talk about it and figure it out.
Yep.
Time to break up
Thank you,
smelling
Trevor,
salt.
for coming
Bye.
online.
Maybe we
And
can add a
joining
pig
us.
character to F-Zero. Maybe that's what you do.
Hell yeah.
You add Pigma. That's how you do it.
I mean, there is the G0 Grand Prix, in Star Fox Command.
Well, the thing is, James McLeod is both a character in F-Zero and
It's true. It's
So-
true. And then they did Fox and Falco in G0. They knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah.
Let's put Azurta in F-Zero as well.
Renault in
Yeah.
F-Zero.
King Bob.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would love that.
Steve.
Who losses?
All right. With that, see you all next time. Don't let
Thank
the
you,
bed
Trevor.
pigmas bite.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or else turn into a pig person.
Oh, well. We should reconsider.